We are going to tell you why the Saints are better off without Marcus Williams. We continue our greatest Saints villain bracket with round 2. And why hasn't Dave gone to Olave Garden yet? Thomas, hit that intro.
G'day, it's Stevic from 12 Ninja here. And look, if you like American football, you should check out Saints Happy Hour podcast. I personally know fuck all about American football, other than it's a bunch of massive blokes wearing spandex, shoulder pads and helmets, running around with throwing a football. In Australia, you don't throw footballs. You punch it or you kick it. And there's no protection. They're all naked. And there's sharks and crocodiles fired out of cannons onto the field, and we all stand around and drink blood watching it. But if American football's your thing, you know what to do. Saints Happy Hour podcast. Stick it in your ear hole.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are live on Twitch. If you aren't, follow us on Twitch and remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. Smash that like button on Twitch and YouTube. Also, become an annual patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour to get the best Saints podcast every day and get a month for free. By the way, Smoke Monday t-shirts are shipped. We're seeing people posting them in the Discord, posting them on social media. We got 10 extras, so sign up at $12 annual level if you want to grab one. We had a couple people sign up. Thomas and Cindy, they got the annual ones. They're going to get them shipped, and Eddie as well. So thanks, guys. Oh, by the way, thanks to Chad M333 for gifting a sub to Senator Houdat. You're the best, guys. Did you know you can support the show for free every month? You use Amazon Prime. All you have to do is go to twitch.tv/Saints Happy Hour, type !sub in the chat. It's that easy. Thomas made step-by-step instructions, so go ahead and do it. Even if you're listening to the audio version of the show, click the link. And by the way, you do it every month. So it's not just a one-time thing. It's a great way to support the show and give us Jeff Bezos' money. You see, Brett and Lafayette, he just subscribed for 9 freaking months. Damn. Brett, you're the man. So,
Smoke Monday every day.
What? Before we get to the fact the Saints don't have any news, gentlemen, what are we drinking tonight? I'm drinking Miller High Life.
Very boring. I'm drinking
champagne of beers.
Yeah, I'm drinking the highly acclaimed KBS. I looked in my fridge tonight and I realized I didn't have like any IPAs. And I have tons of stouts that I have been aging for years. In fact, this one is from 2018. So this beer is 4 years old. So it's delicious, by the way. It's aged well.
Kevin, what are you drinking?
New whiskey this week.
Withered Oak.
Withered Oak. Small batch rye whiskey.
Interesting name.
95 proof, 47.5 alcohol by volume. Finished in a port and Caribbean rum barrel. And hang on a second.
I want to taste that.
My interest is piqued.
The flavor profile, I had to look this up to be sure because I knew Dave would appreciate this.
Yes.
A smooth and sweet finish followed by notes of rye spice, tea, vanilla, caramel, bright fruit, and a hint of chocolate.
You had me at caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would love to try that.
When
we do our live show, by the way, I'm just drinking Tito's on ice, but I think what we should... Tito's. I think what we should do at our live show is hopefully get a beer tasting, and then we can kind of like taste them all and review them while we're at Port Orleans drinking them.
I would definitely take a few free flights of beers. Yeah.
That's right.
Just saying, No,
and
I
watching.
would be down with that.
That's a great...
I'm not a beer drinker, but I would be down with that. Good content.
That's a great segue, Andrew, because the Saints don't have any news. But we want to remind people we're doing a live show at Port Orleans in New Orleans, September 16th. If you're a patron, we're going to be sending out the RSVP list. You want to make sure you RSVP because we're going to have a gift for everybody.
Is that actually up. Port Orleans?
Yeah,
that is actually Port Orleans.
That's not Port of Call. That's not.
It's not a Disney resort.
Not Orleans, France.
That's Port Orleans Hotel and Disney.
Yeah.
Last week after the show, the day after the show, I was Googling images. I was like, Port Orleans. I was trying to figure out where Tomas might have gotten that image from.
Hey, it looked like a port, man.
And lo and behold, I realized it's Port Orleans Resort at Disney World. And I texted everybody, and Kevin was like, "Oh, I knew that immediately." And he's like, "I just didn't want to say anything." And I'm like, on the podcast, I'm like, "You should have definitely said something."
Why would you not want to embarrass him?
Hey, I thought it was Disney, guys. Come on,
Why
guys.
wouldn't you want to dunk on Thomas?
We're not there yet, guys.
That was hashtag Kevin on brand as you could be for this podcast. we have.
Really but I'm a nice guy sometimes. What?
No. We should have, but
Port Orleans Disney World.
But listen, we have a bunch of surprises in store for you guys. You're going to want to join us September 16th. And by the way, we're just going to get you ready for when the Saints kick the crap out of the Bucs again 2 days later in the Dome. It's going to be great. We're going to meet people before the show. We're going to hang out after. So join us, Port Orleans, September 16th. As we always tell you, it's July. When the Saints don't have any news, that's good news. They have no news this week, none at all. But Andrew, ESPN's been doing their rankings, positional rankings. They poll NFL teams, executives, scouts, and all that, and they rank positions. And they did safety this week, one of the positions last week. And the interesting thing was Marcus Williams was number 8 at safety, and they had a lot of executives that were like, I don't like him. He can't tackle. He's not on my list. Like this quote says, and so the voting went, those who like Williams really like him. Those who don't, especially tackling purists, I didn't know there was such a thing in the NFL, have no problem leaving him off the list. So my question to you, Andrew, we're going to go around the horn, but the Saints are replacing 2,000 snaps at safety. With Williams gone, Malcolm Jenkins retired. But is it possible that they're going to be better because while Marcus Williams does amazing things and he's in center field and he can cover and he can make up for mistakes and blown coverage and stuff, is it possible that they're going to be better with Marcus May and Tyrann Mathieu because of the different new fun things they're going to add at safety?
Yeah, so this is a difficult question for me to answer. I think Marcus Williams and Malcolm Jenkins, what they do well is understood very clearly, and their roles are very, very narrowly defined. And so I say that as Marcus Williams obviously has tremendous range. I think quarterbacks, they pay attention to where he is as a center fielder. That makes them scared to go deep. And so, I think there's a lot of value in just his range, his ball skills, and he's a high safety and a really good one. Malcolm Jenkins, as we know, a lot of times he would play closer to the line of scrimmage. He would cover up a tight end, very physical tight ends. He would be able to press them, and not a lot of safeties can do that. And his technique is perfect in coverage. So, and he can be physical, So the role that those two guys had on this team was really clear. I would say that May and Honey Badger are both very different from those two guys in that I would say they're more versatile. I think they do everything well. They can be in the box, they can blitz, they can tackle, they can play the run, they can cover, they can be a high safety. They can both do all of those things. So I would say those two guys are more versatile than both Jenkins and Marcus Williams. But I don't know that they're as elite at one specific thing. I mean, maybe Honey Badger has elite ball skills, but otherwise I would say they don't have the range of Marcus Williams. They don't have the strength and perfect technique maybe of Malcolm Jenkins. So, but I think why Dennis Allen would tell you that he likes this is that he has interchangeable guys that are versatile. And so pre-snap, he can have different looks. He can put them at different spots. He can blitz them. He can move one back. He can move one up. And you're never really sure where the pressure and what type of coverage you're getting from each guy. So I think from a disguising standpoint, he likes this combination a little bit.
Was that pass interference? That would be pass interference.
It would, if he was a Saint, that he'd have been injured.
And they've been raining flags.
Kevin, here's
wait. I have a.
Was that a buttception? That was a buttception.
Yes.
Oh my.
Wow.
God, I'm fired up for Marcus May now. I don't remember seeing this before. That's good work out of you, Thomas. The finest meats for you this week.
I may take I may take umbrage with this. Marcus Williams isn't on the Saints anymore, so I only half care. But it said there tackling purists have no problem leaving Marcus Williams out of the conversation. Now, obviously, that's a shot at the Vikings game. Blowing that game, missing that tackle. But before I get too upset, I'll ask Andrew, since he watches the tape. I mean, other than that obvious missed tackle that was on the national stage, I don't really feel like, was Marcus Williams in general a bad tackler other than that one play?
He had that game from this year where he took that horrible angle and got.
Yeah, he has like one horrible tackle per year.
Taking a bad angle is different than.
That's part of tackling technique, though.
Guess,
if you take a bad angle and you try to dive at a guy, So
I don't know. I feel like that was I feel like they're taking a shot at him by saying that, that's well, I know, and that's just like
lazy.
That's just one. Yeah, it's one play. Like, come on.
But I do think he's a spotty tackler. I don't think it's the major. I don't think it's the major weakness. I agree with you, Dave, that it's not the major weakness that some of these GMs are making it out to be. But it's definitely not his strength. His strength is his ball skills and his range.
But Kevin.
And his smarts, right?
Back to what Dave said. Like, Marcus Williams, there is a percentage of Saints fans that don't like him. But I think there's even a larger percentage of Saints fans that, like, really, really want the Saints to do well because we ain't over 2017. And the rational mind can say, it's just one play, and maybe even if he'd have tackled him, they'd have kicked the field goal. But, like, we're bitter about it, and, like, we really want the Saints to be awesome at safety so we can say we don't miss Marcus Williams at all.
I don't know how much it has to do with holding over 2017. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people moved on with that. I mean,
a lot of people didn't, though.
Oh, okay, but it's like, okay, then maybe I have culled my Twitter feed properly because I don't see a lot of that. Like, I see people complain about the Rams play. I see that. I don't see people talking about the Vikings and Marcus Williams. I mean, so he screwed up in a nationally televised playoff game, but it's the kind of fluke. It was a fluke play. That's the kind of fluke play we have seen before.
He blew it in a big moment, though. He blew it.
I don't know if it's a fluke.
But like in a playoff game, though. Like
let me ask you this, though, Kevin.
That's happened before.
Let me ask you this: when you think back to Marcus Williams and his history with the Saints, that's kind of his legacy. Like, can you think of one single thing that he did with the Saints that's more memorable than that play? No one can. That's his legacy.
That's so mean.
I mean, it sucks because he's a good player. I like a look. I'm not banging on the guy. Good player. He was a solid draft pick.
I think I remember he had a pick.
Yeah, Cincinnati, 2017.
That's right. A regular season game. Right?
2018. Sorry.
Was that the November 11th game?
20 years
on
from
my
birthday
where they destroyed the Bengals?
That's right.
20 years from now, you ask any one of us what do you remember about Marcus Williams? That's what we'll remember.
No, there's no question about it. You cannot.
And
I think
say on some level, regardless of who's barking, who's not, I'm sure he hears a little bit of it on social media, especially when he tweets something that's controversial. They immediately bring that back up. But like, I think on some level, Marcus Williams sensed that, and sometimes like you got to shed that. And I think the only way for him to get out from under that was to leave.
I think this is the better question, Kevin. I think with like Teron Armstead leaving, if Trevor Penning struggles, if Hurst struggles, and it's not great, we'll be like, oh, they miss Teron Armstead. I think fans are going to go to maybe possibly ridiculous lengths if safety doesn't work out to lie to themselves and be like, we don't miss Marcus Williams. Like they don't want to say in November, you know what? We miss that dude in center field. He covered up a lot of flaws. We miss him. I think Saints fans are going to fight that way more than Teron Armstead leaving if tackle struggles.
Well, but here's the thing: at tackle, they're just going to say, "Oh, well, he would have been injured anyway." So if we had him, we wouldn't have him.
So you're saying fans are coming in predisposed to say we didn't need Marcus Williams regardless.
That's right. They want to believe that. Like they're going to give Marcus May and Honey.
Then there's nothing to be said about it. I mean, it's
do you agree with it?
I'm just saying, if you're going to come in with the belief that if the safeties do well, see, there we go, we didn't need Marcus Williams. If the safeties don't do well, they were fine, they were decent enough, we still didn't need Marcus Williams, it was too much of this, and da-da-da-da-da, and we're better off without him, we can improve this and that, and we can work on other things, da-da-da. So if you're coming into the season with that mindset, it doesn't matter whether Marcus Williams goes and kills it with the Ravens, and it doesn't matter what the safeties do for the team this year. You're gonna have your built-in narrative ready to go.
Here's a question, Dave. Chad M in the chat says, I punted a beer into my neighbor's yard on the Marcus Williams whiff. And totally lied about it the next day. Punting a beer can over a fence, like that's pretty hard to do. And you'd have to be pretty angry to get that done, right?
I mean, how tall is the fence? How full was the beer can?
And the fence can't be more than 7, 8, or 8 feet. No, there's rules in New Orleans.
Was it a privacy fence or is it the standard
Either way, no. I do not think that would be very difficult to do, especially given the anger.
Most people don't have bad legs, Ralph.
Especially given
you need to go back on vacation.
That's the worst joke I've ever heard. Especially the anger I know he was feeling at that moment. Yeah, it was. No, Ralph, you're dead wrong about that.
Fuck you, Andre George.
Thank you, Thomas.
There you go. A little late, but it's fine.
Final question, then we get to the important stuff of this podcast. Andrew, it's November 1st. Are Saints fans going to be fighting over the fact that Marcus Williams are gone, or are we going to be saying Marcus May and Honey Badger is the best thing that ever happened to us, and we're not going to miss him a damn bit? You can only pick one. Don't be crawfishing in the middle. Pick one.
But here's the thing: like, we really only need one of the two to be good. You know what I'm saying? Because like they'll just be like, oh, May if May's awesome and Honey Badger sucks, they'll be like, oh well, May's fine, so it didn't matter. And if May sucks and Honey Badger's good, they'll be like, oh well, Honey Badger came, so it doesn't matter. So you really only need one of the two to be good, and you can say that the other one was Malcolm Jenkins' replacement, right? That's the advantage of them being interchangeable.
That's right.
I think it'll be we upgraded.
All right, now we need to get to
but here's the thing, Ralph. Like Honey Badger, fans are so excited about him being a Saint. Like he doesn't have to do much. Recover a fumble, maybe get like a tip on a pass. Like that's probably enough.
When he
for
picks sixes, Tom Brady,
season.
week 2, we're gonna all ascend to heaven.
Oh, yeah.
That is going to happen. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Maybe not Dave, but the rest of us.
Well, speaking of Dave, we got to get to the important thing of this podcast, Dave.
Kevin, come on. Stay with us, man. Come on.
When are you getting to Olave Garden in the Tux
tomorrow?
So you can finalize the trade so you can pick number 1
tomorrow.
Draft Smoke Monday.
Tomorrow is supposed to be the day. If you've been following me on Twitter, I've been dropping some hints that it's coming soon. My wife wrote it on the calendar, on her calendar. She wrote on her calendar. She was upset. She was planning to go work out that evening, but now she can't because I've got to go to the Olive Garden. And I took out the tux today. Also, my wife, she was like, "Have you looked at your tux? You got to make sure it's clean." I'm like, "I'm going to Olive Garden. Who gives a shit what shape the tux is?"
No.
She's like, "No, you can't go to Olive Garden in a bad tux." I'm like, "Listen, I'm gonna be the best dressed motherfucker that's ever walked into Olive Garden. Okay, I can spill marinara sauce all over my white shirt, and I'm still gonna be an 8 out of 10 in that place. All right." Don't worry about the
you
tux.
stay on him. You make sure that tux is clean, Aaron.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh
Get it
God,
dry.
she's worried
Don't
about
let.
the tux. She's like, well, I gotta take it to the dry cleaners. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to fucking Olive Garden.
Don't you dare walk into that restaurant with a dirty tux, Maron.
So, what's your video plan? Are you gonna like live tweet this? Or are you gonna?
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna.
No, nothing live, huh?
Are
you at least gonna live comment on Discord? Are you at least gonna do that?
I don't know. I don't know. I got to see what's going on. I've got to. But the plan is I'm just going to like leave my phone sitting on the table while it's recording. That way I'll make sure I'm going to try and get as many as of the 3 Olave Garden
But you're not going to have someone
in.
film you?
No, I'm going to put on the table and record it and just
We needed to get him a little like
I think you need a friend to like record you doing it.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be recording. It's going to record the whole table.
He lied to us.
It's going to record me and my friend and the
you're living dangerously here. If we deem this is unsatisfactory, you're not getting smoke money.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if that camera shows the top of your shiny head, and all we hear is, you know.
No.
Yeah, you better have your friend. You better have your friend.
I've got my phone.
Camera.
My friend has his own phone. We can get 2 angles with this.
You better sell this. I mean, this.
Yeah, you better have your friend video.
Sorry, waiter. I gotta say this weird thing. I know it's gonna be awkward. I'm just gonna say Olave Garden. Try to act normal. Like you can't do any of that. You gotta sell this.
Don't worry about it. Don't you?
You better order
like Olave Garden.
Olave Garden.
Straightening the imaginary
It has to be
top.
an Oscar-winning performance, Dave.
Yeah.
Oscar-winning.
Right. Tell him, Thomas.
You better earn Smoke Monday.
You to star in The English Patient.
I'm
here.
just going to say
they're not going to want to be drafted by you unless you do a good job here.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not planning on doing a good job, but technically there were no stipulations on how this had to be done. So
yeah. Well, because here's the thing.
Just me going to Olive Garden in a tuxedo, I should earn me moving up. That's right there.
No. We laid out all of the stipulations. I am still the person that holds the number 1 pick.
That's right.
No.
And
don't get cocky.
So Dave, hold on. I have a question. You're gonna go do all this, of course, and it's so when you get the video, are you gonna send like the raw files to Thomas and let him edit it down?
That's a good question. I was thinking about this today. Actually, I haven't decided. I may edit it myself. I don't know if I trust Thomas.
What are you gonna order? That's what I'm. That's what I care.
I probably just for
the video quality is just so much better on my phone.
For shits and giggles, I mean, I think I'll get the tour of Italy.
That's
Maybe
right.
me and my buddy will split the tour of Italy.
You got to get breadsticks. That was part of the deal.
Well, aren't the breadsticks? I don't know.
You got to split a bottle of wine.
You're gonna get a big plate of pasta and like just start nibbling on each end.
Yeah,
like Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
It's definitely the tramp.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get this stuff. Listen, guys, it's only not next week, but the 25th. They're starting camp, so we're gonna have the UDFA Sun Draft. That's next week, so we'll have that. It's almost training camp time. The dead period's over. Thank God.
What are you feeling?
When are we doing the draft?
Kevin,
I thought that was right
week.
before preseason.
Next week.
Next week.
Dave,
remember last year we did it.
Feeling the Irish punter?
I'll let you know what the fuck I'm gonna do when it comes time for the draft.
Dave lost.
I might fucking surprise you.
I wanted to be able to see the UDFAs a couple times, but Dave thought that was unfair. And Dave was like, "We got to do the draft before training camp starts." So
not me. Everybody else thought that was the stupid way to do it.
I want to blame you.
Single me out.
Because I want to blame you.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Now we get to the Saints' greatest villain, round 2. We did the preliminaries. And peek behind the curtain, last Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't know what day it was, Andrew misses his flight and flies back. I guess he landed at 12 or 1 in the morning, and my son was up, so I was dealing with him. Andrew, irate, texted me this thread. He was beside himself with rage about how the prelims went. And tough titty, Andrew. You weren't here. You couldn't.
I was mad at you guys.
Yeah.
What was I can't remember who you picked last week, but that was terrible. Oh, you guys forgot that Michael Vick absolutely owned.
No, Kevin
Aaron
mentioned
Brooks
it. We just didn't care.
Will. He beat Aaron Brooks at freaking will. If you ask me who the greatest villain of the Jim Haslett era was, it's Mike Vick. Period.
He had a chance. He had a chance to ruin the dome opener, and he blew it.
For you guys, that's what I'm saying. Recency bias. You just remember
the greatest villain of the Jim Haslett era was Rick Venturi. Just so you know,
that's not true. The greatest
Rick Venturi is not eligible for this tournament.
Greatest villain of the Haslett era was Haslett himself.
That's right,
dude. By the way, we got me and Andrew did a Saints classic replay where we watched the Saints Rams from 2001. That is the most Haslett of all the Haslett games, I think.
That is reckless.
That'll post not this week. We did the Saints Falcons from '87. That posted for patrons. It'll post for everybody else later in the week. If you want to be a patron, you get it ad free. They already have it. But
I also listen to you guys debate top 10 quarterbacks, and you're talking about Jake Delhomme, who threw 7 passes in his career with the Saints.
We didn't make that list.
You didn't. Hang on, no.
Kevin's saying, "Oh, you got to bring Jeff Blake up," and no mention of Jim Everett from none of you.
Jim Everett was on the list.
Jim Everett was already on the list. We were just saying he's got to be higher.
Jim Everett should have been in the top 5.
He was, I think.
He was 5th.
He was 4 or 5.
Why are we relitigating this?
Sorry. I was not here, and I just
Juge, how many Juge, I miss all of the podcasts. You don't see me coming back every other week going I need to relitigate this thing from last week.
Jim Everett was
number 6. This thing that I disagreed with.
Thank you, Jim Everett was number 6.
That's why I went out of my way to run down every name on that list, because I know we have people that are only listening and not listening to the Twitch stream. By the way, Andrew, your greatest ability is availability. And if you're not going to be on the podcast, I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
Look, Vic should have been the pick over Greg Olson. That was irresponsible.
So this bracket this week, though, I worry that
we have noted your official protest, Juge.
I worry, Kevin, that this week one of the matchups that we are going to create, I think, for next week is going to open up a portal to hell.
But that's upside down.
But that's next week. Thomas, tell us what's the first matchup for this week.
I'm going to get a snack.
Wait a minute.
What?
Get ready for the next battle.
You think Dave has snacks in his bathroom?
Yeah, I know. It's just a bag of Sour Patch Kids that he opens his gullet and he just pours it in. This one is number 1, Roger Goodell, number 17, Matt Bryant. Now, Matt Bryant he's caused a lot of pain for the Saints with field goal kicking.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and I think I'm glad that Andrew is here as Thomas shows the Matt Bryant kick to beat the Saints in overtime. Your mention that recency bias gets us. Here's the thing. Bountygate now, Andrew, is a decade ago. And we kind of hate Goodell for the no call. We blame him a little bit for just being a pussy and not taking a week to acknowledge it. But the main reason I hate Goodell is Bountygate. Bountygate was just an absolute travesty. And it's a decade ago. Do you think that do you think people, when they think of Goodell and the reason they hate him, do you think they hate him more because of Bountygate, or do you think they hate him more because of the no call?
Oh, it's Bountygate 100%. But I think so that was the gash, right? That was the wound that that was created. But it gets opened up every time the NFL botches another player discipline thing, because invariably another guy will screw up. He'll smoke weed. Oh my God, he smoked a joint, and he's suspended for a year. And then some dude beats his wife, and he's playing the next week because he's Tyreek Hill. So like the player discipline stuff, people go nuts on Twitter, and we as Saints fans were always like, we tried to tell you the system is rigged. We tried to tell you that guy sucks and his rules are unfair. And then all of a sudden, these fans for teams that get screwed, they're like, oh yeah, maybe the Saints were onto something.
Kevin, isn't there going to be just a little bit of you, like 2% of you, and I admit this freely, there's going to be like 2 to 5% of me when Goodell botches the Deshaun Watson suspension and he gets dragged on Twitter, on the national media, on all the morning shows, on the national news. When he gets dragged for it, I'm going to enjoy it probably more than I should because Deshaun Watson deserves to not play this year. But I'm going to enjoy Goodell getting dragged when he botches the Deshaun Watson suspension. I'm going to enjoy it just a little bit because I hate him so much.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know how much you want me to like jump onto this. I had hoped to save some of these remarks for later because I mean,
then do it because this is easy. Goodell's moving on. Come on.
Yeah. Then I'll save my remarks for later. I'll save my remarks.
I got one more thing to say though.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're bringing up Bountygate, and we have completely not brought up the fact that Goodell took draft picks away from us.
That's right.
For dancing in the locker room.
That's right.
When the Titans were sent home. They were freaking sent home, and they practiced anyway when they were told not to because they were all infected with the Rona. They were all drenched. They were all bathing in Rona. And they practiced together anyway and infected each other. They had a COVID party outside of the facility. And they did not lose a draft pick, and the Saints lost a draft pick for dancing in the locker room after they had all tested negative that day.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I did.
And to use your terminology, Andrew, game, set, and match.
I mean, that Goodell, he is the 72 Dolphins in this bracket. I mean, we could do the vote. I mean, Matt Bryant, you won a prelim round, you got to play and you made the upset, yada, yada, yada. But I just think it's Goodell across the board. Is anybody going to try to pretend like Matt Bryant deserves anything?
No. I mean, look, we got to get a poll up, right? You call him the 72 Dolphins. I mean, he's the 72 Dolphins and the 83 Blazers all rolled into one.
Well, Thomas,
you got to you got to get the polls up, right?
We got the votes from Twitter from now on.
What was the poll on Twitter, Thomas?
So Roger Goodell had 91.8%.
Wow, I'm surprised it's that low.
Yeah, that's pretty low, man. That's pretty low compared to Matt Bryant.
Good on you, Matt Bryant. Matt Bryant with the solid effort there.
Yeah.
How many total votes?
It's like an NBA series, like an 8 versus 1. I feel like Matt Bryant won a game.
Yeah,
he took
I feel like it was
5
4-1, like the gentleman's sweep.
Yeah,
you know.
No, come on, man. That's 90-10. That's a sweep. That's a sweep.
That's
4-1 would be like if it was 70-30.
Yeah.
Osman also reminded me that Oakland, who had their pick taken away, were able to get it back.
Not the same
for the same COVID offense, but the Saints did not.
That's why I worry about Kamara. Even though
that's the funny thing about the sad and amusing thing about this Goodell thing is that all of us are going to wind up remembering individual things
and they're all
that he did, like individual instances of fuckery with him.
It is.
Here's a question: do you think it'll get better with Goodell now that Sean Payton is gone?
Slightly,
because things were definitely personal between those two.
Maybe.
Slightly. I do.
By the way, Roger Goodell, I think, is known for Bountygate the way Marcus Williams is known for that missed tackle.
Fair enough. Thomas,
you want to talk about legacies? That's the legacy that Roger Goodell will have.
Well, the next guy we're going to talk about, Jeff Duncan, has plenty of Bountygate.
He does. Thomas, what do we got? What do we got in the next matchup?
Get ready for the next battle.
See, I know it's Jeff Duncan, number 8 seed, versus Ronde Barber playing. I know Ronde Barber is a tremendous Saints villain. We laid that out 2 weeks ago. He was way better than the Saints. I remembered him being a huge thorn in the Saints side and doing tremendous things. It was even worse than I imagined. But here's the thing,
Ralph.
man.
I have breaking news. Actually,
What?
I just saw this on Twitter. Sorry to interrupt. Ronde Barber just intercepted Aaron Brooks again. Just happened.
I know that Ronde Barber was just dominated the Saints in a way that was hysterical and sad. But here's the thing, man. During Bountygate, Jeff Duncan was a mouthpiece for the NFL, and he didn't outright call for Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis to get fired. But if the Saints had done what the NFL wanted them to do, he would have applauded it. And for that alone, I hate him and I want him to go through. He's got to go far in this, or not far, but he's got. Here's the thing, Kevin. I worry that if he faces off with Goodell, we're opening a portal to hell. But I also want to
both
see
of
that.
them then.
But I also want to see it.
So I remember a tweet that Jeff Duncan had, or maybe it was his article, but I don't know why I still hang on to these words, but I remember the specific sentence like to this day. And it was, the punishment that the NFL will give the Saints will be severe, it will be swift, and it will be just.
Oh my God.
That was his line.
Yeah.
I remember him saying that, and that really stuck with me. And then I was at the Pro Football Hall of Fame when Willie Roaf was getting inducted, and he was the first Saint.
I had. No, sorry,
first,
not him. That's Ricky.
It was the first Saint technically to ever get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I was there for it, and it was awesome. And during his speech that evening, Jeff Duncan released an article during the speech, like tweeted it out, like, here's what I think about the Saints and why they should get hammered for. So, like, I've kind of never forgiven him for that. Like, the timing of it, I remember I was just like, dude,
you couldn't wait till the next day.
No, you're like purposefully doing this during a big moment for the franchise just to be a dick.
It makes me almost want to vomit.
Here we go. I got one too. January of 2013. Quote. Now remember that date. January of 2013.
Okay.
Roger Goodell should be hailed as a New Orleans hero.
Jesus.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Legitimate words that came from Jeff Duncan's pen or keyboard or whatever the hell.
What was the justification for that?
Well, his justification.
You go ahead, Ralph.
Well, here's the justification is. His justification is Goodell was Tagliabue's number 2, and he was the guy who helped the Saints get the dome rebuilt and spearheaded all the needed steps for the Saints to stay in New Orleans. And Jeff Duncan gives Goodell credit for that, but I don't, because you know who did that? Tagliabue told Benson, you're not going. You're not fucking moving. Leaving. You're not fucking moving to San Antonio.
Exactly.
Shout out to Arnie Filco, by the way.
Yes, I was going to say him next. Tagliabue and Filco. Those are the two motherfuckers right there. You want to look this Lee Circle thing? I don't know if the Lee Circle thing's ever been sorted out. I keep saying just put up a big circle of like plaques of big monuments of like important people in the city's history, of the region's history. Filco and Tagliabue should be in that circle.
They did.
All right? Those
did.
two guys helped keep the Saints here.
They did rename
those two guys.
They did rename Lee Circle.
What'd they rename it to?
Filco Circle, hopefully.
For the longest time.
Is it Tucson Circle now?
No.
Is it Tucson Circle? What is it now?
I gotta look it up because I don't even remember. It was so
for the
not
for the
memorable.
longest time.
Looking up right now. Hold on.
for the longest time, Andrew Juge for his little
Harmony circle. It's
for
Harmony
his little
circle.
quote or avatar
Yeah. Have you ever
on
heard of
Canal
anybody
Street
call
Chronicles said Tagliabue deserves the finest steaks and blowjobs forever for keeping the Saints in
Meats
the
and
That
cheeses.
was
I
right,
think,
Andrew.
I think it was Primo Hookers.
Primo Hookers, that was it. And it's right. Like, Goodell doesn't get any credit for keeping the Saints in New Orleans. His boss told him to make it happen, and he did it. Like, that's what it was. It's just, like, it infuriates
honestly,
me to know it.
Honestly, look, I think you're all valid. And honestly, I think that last point that Kevin made with him saying that Saints fans should rejoice and worship at the altar of Goodell's feet, that's the most egregious thing. I mean, the Bounty Gate stuff. No, I'm serious. I mean, like the Bounty Gate stuff. If I'm being totally impartial, he had an opinion. He wrote his opinion. That's what he's supposed to do. It was an unpopular opinion,
but he turned full heel.
I get it. I'm not.
It
It was an unpopular opinion, and yes, if you have an unpopular opinion, that's what's going to happen. You're going to alienate the fan base that you're writing for. So I'm not saying he should have done that. I'm not saying that none of us have a right to dislike him or be annoyed by him or think he's a total douche for doing that. But I can at least see some reasoning behind that. But writing an article and saying that we should respect and love Roger Goodell, that is as tone deaf as Drew Brees.
It's tone deaf, but it's wrong. Like
it's not tone deaf.
It's not. Like, I get that he thinks the Saints should have got hammered for Bountygate, whatever. Don't tell me the Saints fans we should love Goodell. It's not true. Like, it's not. And I want to give Kevin some credit. You swung. People were thinking of apparently voting Ronde Barber here. Kevin's quote from Duncan swung it in swung the chat against Ronde Barber.
Kevin, what are you holding up, Kevin?
See, look, the people who are listening to this podcast on drive time tomorrow or the next day or whenever, they won't see this. But if you're watching us on Twitch, I'm doing my Jeff Duncan impression. I am carrying water. All right? Jeff Duncan is a professional water carrier. That's what he is.
Oh, gosh.
For the Shield. You and Peter fucking King can go hang out on the Acela train going up and down the Northeast Corridor talking about how great the Shield is and how pure the Shield is and how it's above reproach. Y'all can fuck off. In fact, when he comes to bring you, when you get the train ride back, stop in Louisville in your hometown and stay there, Jeff. Stay there. All right.
Let's not forget that Jeff Duncan also told us this offseason to chill out.
Yeah. God.
Sean Payton was not going anywhere.
What?
Oh,
chill
that's
out
right.
about what?
Sean Payton
everybody needs to chill out. Sean Payton's not going anywhere.
All right. Now, you know what? I was going to vote for Ronde Barber, but now I don't know. Now you.
It is 9:53 p.m. right now. If Jeff Duncan was in my house, wandered in like that, like a random person, and said, "Kevin, it's dark outside. I'm going to look right to my fucking window to double check." I wouldn't trust that motherfucker if he told me the grass is green.
Are we all
water carrier? That's what he is. Let me tell you something. How many awards has he won? I know he ain't a winner right now.
He actually wasn't.
Yeah,
he did win an award in that same competition.
Yeah, he did.
Is he a winner right now? Is he a winner right now?
We don't know. We have yet to vote.
Still have to vote. Yeah.
Right. So are we doing the thing where we're cutting people off?
I'm talking about in general.
Are we cutting people off? Are we doing that? What is it? A holding penalty? What do we call that?
I'm right. Box? You know I'm right.
No, I totally agree with you.
We got to vote.
You had a good bit.
Penalty box.
He can go.
I don't know the penalty box.
You got to be like Costanza. You got to like go off on a high note. Don't keep going and ruin it. Like,
right, fine.
Is anybody voting?
I'll go carry my water back.
Okay, all right.
Is anybody voting for Ronde Barber?
I am. I'm going to vote for Ronde Barber.
Oh my God!
I am going.
I vote.
Dave.
Thomas, what are the percentages looking like in our poll?
66.4 And you can guess who.
Duncan. It's got to be Duncan.
Yeah.
So that's like a 4. That's
Shame
like
it wasn't 66.6.
That's like a 4. That's like a 4-1 sweep. Jeff Duncan. Dave is voting for Ronde Barber, but Andrew and Kevin, we know what Kevin's voting for. I'm voting for Duncan. Duncan's going through.
Clownery.
Somebody needs to tweet him this episode.
Should be teaching high school English.
Duncan. The committee failed. He's not an 8 seed because he needed to go further.
You need to find this. I'll find it somewhere. I have a picture of it. But Jeff Duncan used to have this segment called Dunk Shots.
Oh yeah,
you guys remember this?
Yeah, I do.
And the clip art for dunk shots. It's like there's a football here, a basketball here, and a soccer ball here or something. And it's like Jeff, and the background is just awful. Like it is literally the worst clip art I've ever seen.
Is it as bad as our first attempt at a logo?
Worse.
Oh my God,
it's worse.
All right. Well, I can't wait till somebody @s this at Jeff Duncan.
Whatever.
He listens to this. No, it's fine.
I will.
Thomas, I'm going to try to direct message you the picture now. So
he's blocked. The Saints Happy Hour account. Jeff Duncan blocking that guy.
Well, somebody, one of our listeners will do it, I'm sure. And look, if and when you listen to this, Jeff, the #1 podcast in the state of Louisiana,
you're not on.
When you listen to this, I invite you to come on. But I want to talk about these articles, and I want to talk about.
I'll have Jeff Duncan on. I will not have 1-1 on, but I'll have Jeff.
Not articles, columns. That's another thing too. Okay. We need to figure. Everybody needs to understand what an article and a column is. Right, well, an article is actual research and facts.
Okay.
Facts. Right. What Jeff Duncan is doing is carrying a shit opinion for the league. He's laundering. He's the money launderer. Congratulations, Jeff. The money is on the Trester drawer. Get yourself something nice.
I feel like Kevin is
Go teach freshman English.
Kevin was the healed over wound of Bountygate, and we just ripped the scab right off, and he's just raging. And it's the id of Saints fans.
If there's one thing about me, I can move on. I move on, but I don't forget. Yeah. I move on, but I don't forget.
Just ask the doctor.
I'll fuck off again. I'm gonna vote for Ronde Barber. I'm a contrarian. I'm Skip Bayless.
All right, this is where this bracket.
I mean, Ronde Barber. I mean, he just literally owned the Saints on the field. Like Jeff Duncan, for all the annoying things that he did. The only thing Jeff Duncan isn't. He's not a Saints villain. He's
Jeff Duncan only hurt feelings.
He's a Who Dat Nation villain. Jeff Duncan.
My feelings matter, Thomas.
He's a Who Dat Nation villain. Okay,
I'm pretty sure the Saints hate him too.
That's right. Well,
this is Yahoo Finance versus Advocate, guys.
This next matchup. Well, it's Jeff Duncan, so do the graphic. But
I did.
You did.
Then the next
matchup graphic.
The matchup graphic. The next one is this one's gonna
get ready for the next battle,
because you got number 4 Joey Galloway and number 20 Sean Pamphilon. Joey Galloway, I would argue, if you want to talk about on-field accomplishments as a Saints villain, I would say he's the most accomplished on-field person in this bracket by far, easily. Like
it was so easy to find highlights versus Saints, man.
His stats against the Saints, are ridiculous. And I forgot about this punt return. He owned the Saints. And here's the thing. When he came to Tampa, Andrew, he was old. He had played for Seattle. He had played for Dallas. And he was in Tampa. And he wrecked the Saints. His game log against the Saints is a snuff film.
Yeah, when it comes to the term Saints killer, if you're talking about players and what they did on the field against the Saints, I feel like Joey Galloway is undefeated. In fact, what we should do, Kevin, you're good at this. Like, look at his game log and just read his stat lines against the Saints. I remember doing this exercise once when I wrote an article about it.
This is gonna be like Flipper Anderson all over again.
It's like Flipper Anderson, except he did it like 8 times.
Okay, so I've got it right here. It's not game to game. This is This is receivers all time against the Saints in the Saints history. Jerry Rice is the preeminent Saints killer. 30 games played, 14 receiving touchdowns, 2,025 yards, 67.5 receiving yards per game.
Yeah, but he did that to everyone.
Correct. But Joey Galloway, 11 games played against the Saints, 11. 9 receiving touchdowns against the Saints on 44 receptions. Only got 827 yards, receiving yards total. That averages out to 18.8 yards. That averages out to 75.2 yards per game. That averages out to 7 yards. No, that's 18.8 yards per catch.
Dude, he was catching a touchdown every 4th catch against the Saints.
Every 5th catch was a touchdown for Joey Galloway. Every 5th catch was a touchdown for Joey Galloway.
That's the stat right there.
Oh my god!
All right, hold on. I'm gonna read you some box scores here. Okay, this was the 2 games against the Saints in 2007. 7 catches for 159 yards. That was one game. Next game, 4 catches for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Jesus.
Let's go to 2006, the year before. We've got 4 catches for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kind of a quiet game that time. And we've got 4 catches for 110 yards.
How old was he when he was doing this, Andrew? How old was he when he was doing this?
This isn't later in his career. This is in his 30s. This was kind of a weaker game by him against the Saints. 4 catches, 38 yards, 2 touchdowns. Even when he's having shitty games, he's catching 2 touchdowns. 5 catches, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, it's ridiculous every game. This was one of his worst games against the Saints. 2 catches, 18 yards, a touchdown.
Yeah. He's going up against Pamphilon, Dave. And Pamphilon is a horrible human being because he betrayed Steve Gleason, a man. We all know Steve Gleason's situation. He betrayed him. Steve Gleason gave him access.
Dave's friend.
He leaked the Greg Williams, the voicemail. It was terrible. And that's awful. And I think if he was going against anyone else besides Joey Galloway, I think he'd have a strong case. But Joey Galloway's on-field dominance against the Saints, I just can't make a strong case for Pamphilon.
Yeah. Wait, pull that other picture up. I don't remember ever seeing that picture where he's holding the letter. It says to Roger Goodell from Sean Pamphilon regarding common interests. That's damning evidence right there. If you have a common interest with Roger Goodell, you're no friend of mine. Especially considering Roger Goodell is...
Let's not forget, Pamphilon is the guy that leaked the audio.
Yeah.
No, I know.
And, by the way, this is all that he's known for. He never went on to be like a famous documentarian or director.
He looks like... Who does he... He looks like a 90s alternative rock band lead man. Who does he look like? Like somebody specifically.
He looks like a sick version of the 311 singer.
That's not who I... Reminded
Are
me
you
of
thinking
somebody.
3 Doors Down?
No. Weezer.
The Green Day dude?
The guy from Weezer. Rivers.
Matchbox 20?
Rivers Cuomo? No.
No, hang on a second.
Rob Thomas.
Anyway.
Candlebox? Does he look like the Candlebox singer?
No. Oh, you're thinking of Matchbox 20 guy?
No.
Yeah,
Rob
I get
Thomas?
Candlebox and Matchbox 20 confused.
All right. Anyway.
As you should.
Yeah, look, Sean, this is a tough matchup. What are they ranked? What's the rankings here?
4 versus 20.
Yes, that's
420.
Pamphilon. Yeah, hey. Pamphilon should be probably should be higher. But
Smoke
there's no way.
day.
There's no way Joey Galloway doesn't. There's just no way that Joey Galloway is like. I don't know. He should be the sponsor of this tournament. When you say Saints killer, to me, Joey Galloway is first and foremost the first name that comes to my mind. That is absolutely number one that I think of. I don't think of Roger Goodell. I don't think of Jeff Duncan. I don't think of people off the field. When you ask me Saints villain, I think of people on the field, and I immediately think of Joey Galloway. So I'm going to vote for Joey Galloway.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say about Pamphilon is he gained access to the room, as we said, because Gleason was his buddy, and Gleason got him access. And so he was recording stuff, and he recorded the infamous Greg Williams tape. And Gleason specifically asked him not to release that. He was like, please don't put that out there.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what, Steve? I'm going to do it. And Drew Brees asked him not to do it. And he's like, oh, the great Drew Brees trying to ask me. He's like, F yourself, Drew. I'm putting this out there. And it was purely, and then he tried to pretend that it wasn't for his fame or his personal gain.
Yeah.
But then he said the words, quote, I'm sitting on a gold mine. And yet he tries to pretend that this isn't for him. It's like, to raise awareness to the brutality of the league. Get out of here with that.
No.
So I don't know. Like, I've always felt like that dude
said it last week. I said it last week. I didn't have the actor's name, but I alluded to it. He looks like nerdy Timothy Oliphant.
I could see that.
Not really. I don't see that.
I mean, your movie takes are questionable at best.
Trash.
Here's my thing. I emotionally, I want to vote for Pamphilon because what he did to Gleason was terrible. And Monadula actually had a good tweet. He's like, Galloway.
No, he didn't. Don't
encourage Monadula.
No,
but he did.
No,
he has
no,
one good tweet every 6 months.
The worst
but he said, Galloway did it on the field, but Pamphilon is a terrible human being. And I think Monadula is right. But here's the thing. Galloway's on the field destruction of the Saints outweighs Pamphilon being a terrible human being and treating Gleason horribly. I gotta go Joey Galloway here.
I feel like
wait a minute.
Galloway was Beastquake times like 7.
Wait a minute. We've been talking about Joey Galloway? I thought we were talking about Joey Calloway.
The big attorney.
My cousin Vinny references this offseason have been out of control.
Strong.
Yeah.
Strong to very strong.
Yeah, so Calloway
didn't read any further in the newspaper.
I feel like so now I'm calling him Calloway. I feel like Joey Galloway did Beastquake multiple times to the Saints. So I'm with you. I'm going Galloway.
Dave.
I already voted Galloway.
Kevin.
This is the toughest. This might be the toughest one for me.
It's tough.
I feel like Pamphilon's got to get at least one vote.
Yeah. I'm voting Pamphilon.
Didn't Ralph vote Pamphilon?
What do the fans say?
No, I voted Galloway. I voted Joey Galloway.
What do the fans say?
What are the
fans voted 65.9. You can guess who?
Galloway?
Nope.
No, he's
Pamphilon.
It's emotion, man. The Saints villain bracket is emotion. People don't want to be clear-headed and statistics and that sort of thing. Like Pamphilon, I could see people hate Pamphilon. We love Gleason. He's an icon. He has a freaking statue. The man is a hero. He's overcome so much. And Pamphilon took a giant dump on him. I kind of regret my vote, but it is what it is.
So it was 3-2. 3-2. It was close.
It was tough. It was tough.
It's your fault, Ralph.
It is my fault. So what's the final matchup for today, Thomas?
Final matchup.
Get ready for the next battle.
Ooh.
Jeez.
This is a hard one.
Oh, no.
Number 5, Roddy White. versus number 12, Flipper Anderson. Flipper Anderson is a one-hit wonder, but that hit was a mega hit in the greatest Saints bracket.
That was like the hit Reggie Bush took on that screen pass.
It's like a mega hit.
Against the Eagles.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
right,
a
in the
mega
playoff
hit.
game.
Roddy White, though, he played a decade for Atlanta. He embraced the
11
Saints.
years.
11 years. He embraced Saints Falcons the way Cam Jordan does. And he leaned into it, and he hated New Orleans, and he ran his mouth, and we hated that dude.
Yeah. The big one was the tweet where he said that the Saints only won a Super Bowl. God gave the Saints a Super Bowl to counteract for Katrina.
Yeah.
Put that out there.
This is hard.
Boy, jeez.
Man, this one's hard for me because
I was
Roddy
going to
White.
say something nice about Roddy White, but maybe I'm not anymore.
Why would you?
Why would you? I mean,
when it gets to my turn, I'll say something.
I mean, I had forgotten about the Katrina tweet, Andrew. That's going to tip it to Roddy White for me. And also,
he also had some good games against the Saints.
Back when Andrew used to run the Saints Nation blog and do his April Fool's Day joke, he did April Fool's Day joke of Roddy White signing with the Saints, and he had to go into witness protection for like 2 weeks. People were so upset that he would even.
God, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that.
Those two things swing me. I'm going Roddy White.
Hang on, I've got some delightful number. Actually, you know what? Let me go back and take that.
Delightful. Positively delightful.
That. Okay. So I looked at Roddy White's numbers for the last 1, 2, 3, 4. The last 5 years he was with the Atlanta Falcons. He played 8 games against the Saints in his last 5 years. In those 8 games, he averaged 42.1 yards per game. And that's only because in the first game of the 2012 series, he actually got 114 receiving yards. He never got anywhere close to 100 yards again for the rest of his tenure against the Saints.
No Joey Galloway.
Yep. No, this is good. This is helping my argument. Thank you.
No, he like basically his. I mean, if you had him from 2000, his prime against the Saints was 2007 through 2011. Mm-hmm. Those were his like killer years. His first 2 years against the Saints were basically the same as his last 5 years against the Saints, just average or less than average.
The old heads on Twitter were making a strong case for Flipper Anderson, and their case was Flipper Anderson, his record lives forever whenever somebody gets to 300 yards receiving. Flipper Anderson's name comes up. Therefore, he should move on. It's a strong case, but I forgot about the Katrina tweet, and that got me emotional. I voted Roddy White. So, Kevin, who are you voting for?
Wait, what did you say about the what'd you say about that?
About Flipper Anderson, like he's a one hit, but it's iconic. Like anytime any receiver crosses 300 yards, Flipper Anderson.
You get reminded of it. Yeah.
You get reminded of it.
Well, right. Well, what did you say about Katrina, though?
Well, that doesn't happen very often. He was just referencing Roddy White's Katrina comments. Can you pay attention, Kevin? Instead,
I don't think Kevin was paying attention.
Your Tinder app.
Roddy White tweeted.
He's too busy on Farmers Only.
Yeah.
Look at the stats. God damn it,
Roddy White. Kevin. Roddy White tweeted that God gave the Saints a Super Bowl to make up for Katrina.
That's pretty.
Roddy White.
I mean, honestly, I think he's trying to be
Roddy
nice.
White.
He's like saying, "Hey, look, here you go."
Roddy White. I'm voting Roddy White.
All right. Look, here's what I'm going to say about this. Andrew, you mentioned a good point. Look, I'm not an old head, as you quote unquote said, but they have a point. Okay, sorry, Ralph said that. But the old heads have a point. Flipper Anderson's record still stands today, lives on forever. And look, I just learned about this 2 weeks ago, and I barely even remember it because this was while I was celebrating our win, and I was a little intoxicated. Kevin thought that was very funny. Kevin kept re-listening to that episode over and over again.
I love my wife. Have a stroke. Our anniversary.
I don't remember that part.
We do.
But I know you do. I know. But Ralph mentioned something earlier at the beginning when he started talking about Roddy White. Roddy White leaned into this. There is Roddy White.
I don't like
in at least a small part. Roddy White kind of did this for our entertainment. Okay, this and going back to what Kevin said, he's no Joey Galloway. His stats are. He's maybe had a couple of big games, good games. Maybe that sticks out in your mind. But over the course of his entire career, over all that time that he's played the Saints, it's been mediocre. I think less than 50 yards a game is fairly mediocre. I think the reason Roddy White is ranked number 5 on this list, and even in this conversation and in this bracket, is because of the off the field stuff. It's not the on the field stuff. If Roddy White had kept his mouth shut, we wouldn't be talking about him. He wouldn't be in this bracket. You're goddamn right. That's true. Okay.
Actually, over his 22 games against the Saints, over the 22 games, he is averaging 58.8 yards per game.
That's no Joey Galloway. That's fairly mediocre. Again, I think my point still stands. We're talking about him now. We're talking about him now because of his off the field comments. The Katrina thing, indefensible. I would never defend it. But a lot of the stuff, I think he did on purpose. He knew he was riling it up. He enjoyed the rivalry between the Falcons and the Saints. He fanned the flames of that rivalry. I think Roddy White. Look, I'll be Jeff Duncan here. Roddy White. We should be worshiping Roddy White. Oh my God. Okay, we should be thanking Roddy White for all that he's done for the Saints-Falcons rivalry.
He's like
should be thanking him for hanging around for 5 years and stinking up the goddamn joint.
Yeah, he talked shit on the field. He used, remember when he got Sean Payton all riled up? Come on, that's fun. Okay, without Roddy White, that doesn't happen. We don't. Shut up. Without Roddy White, we don't get that. I think Roddy White is a treasure. He's a jewel. I'm going with Flipper.
All right, so what is that? 2-1 Roddy. Is that 2
Roddy, 1 Flipper?
Right. So what do you?
Yeah.
So here's
I just learned about Flipper Anderson 2 weeks ago.
Here's the thing. I hated Roddy, hated him, and I would troll him on Twitter. I mean, if you've been following me on Twitter for any length of time, you know that I would always retweet him. I would always come at him on Twitter, troll him hard, and he would respond occasionally. He never blocked me, despite I would never curse at him. I would never insult. I would be like, I don't know how to put this. I would be polite in my insults, so I would never cross a line. But I tried really hard to get him to block me, and he never did. And a couple times I sent him a tweet. Like one time my kid opened up, one of those packs of, pro football cards. And he opens it and he gets a Roddy White card. And so he holds up the Roddy White card and he puts his thumbs down and sticks his tongue out. And I send that picture to Roddy. I'm like, hey, Roddy, my kid just got your card and he hates it. And he wrote me back. He's like, it's bad that you teach your son that you're being a bad father. So I was like, all right, it's kind of funny. I got to say, to this day, I follow Roddy White and I am not as aggressive about trolling him as I used to be. I've gotten nicer over the years on Twitter.
He's not around anymore.
Play the violin. Play the violin, Thomas.
Yeah. Christ.
But I got
Roddy White's parenting takes were spot on, though. Give him that.
I gotta say, Roddy, as much as I hate him, I also I'm with Dave. The feud thing's kind of fun, and I respect that he never blocked me. So I'm gonna go Flipper.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm gonna leave it to the fans to decide.
The Flipper fans.
Yeah, buddy.
So what do we got?
We got 80. It was pretty one-sided, guys. 81.4%.
They're gonna pick Roddy.
For the winner.
Yeah, for Roddy.
I'm sure. Roddy, right?
You can see it yourself.
That's not fair.
That's Roddy. Recency bias.
The fans hate Roddy.
That is recency bias.
They
only 25% of our listeners,
The
including
strike is
myself,
spoken, man.
only know who Flipper Anderson is.
Roddy White versus Joey Galloway is another mammoth.
This bracket.
No, it's not.
It's getting. I mean, you got the chalk making the way through, and it's the next round. Whew, when you get to the Elite Eight, it's going to be strong. Speaking,
can we preview our matchups for next week?
Yeah, we got to do the other side of the bracket.
We were doing that today.
Preview. No,
we're doing
it's next week.
Yeah, we do 4 a week.
If
we do 8, we'll be here
long.
Yeah, but can you quickly tell us
next
who
week? Next week we'll have some sweet.
We got
I got it.
Content.
I'll do it. We got Bill Binovich, the number 2 seed, against Deion Sanders, the 18 seed. 7 seed Vernon Davis against 10 seed Greg Olson. 3 seed Steve Smith against 14 seed Algie Crumpler. And 6 seed Cam Newton against the 22nd seed D'Angelo Williams.
I think this side, the left side of the bracket is stronger. The left side is stronger.
The other those you just listed are easy choices, and I don't feel like the villains are quite as strong.
No.
Yeah.
We did a poor job seeding it. So now we got to get to the hot take of the week. And before we get to it, though, I want to remind everybody it's time for this week's hottest take of the week, and it's sponsored by JLD Hot Sauces and Knives. If you want award-winning hot sauces like Bucholika,
or
say it correctly, Dave.
Buchalokia,
or Reaper Madness Special Reserve, go to www.jldsharpsauce.com. They also have incredible jellies such as palm and pepper. They also have an incredible selection of handmade knives for cooking, hunting, and outdoor needs. Check out the Zombie Killer Quartering Cleaver. It's the best damn quartering cleaver you ever saw in your life. Jerry Embler, tremendous supporter of Saints Happy Hour podcast. He's been one of our initial supporters and been great. And we're asking you to support the people who support Saints Happy Hour. So go to www.jldsharpsauce.com to get the best hot sauces and knives at the best prices anywhere. Use promo code Saints Happy Hour. Get 10% off. That's www.jldsharpsauce.com. Dave, you wanted the hot take of the week. Take it away, my friend.
Yeah, I had a hot take. My hot take is... next season, look out AFC East, because the New York Jets are going to be coming for you. I think everybody by now they've heard the story about Zach Wilson, his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, who's dating his former roommate and former teammate, kind of outed him and said that he slept with his mom's friend, a friend of his mom, which, look, there's nothing wrong with that. Sounds dirty, but it's not. There's nothing wrong with that. Wait,
there's not?
No, we should celebrate it, Andrew, because it's the first time since 2018 the Jets scored in the 40s. So,
nice. The reaction, a lot of Zach's teammates have been coming out. They think he's like the coolest guy now. Brady on his way home after realizing Giselle is also a friend of Zach Wilson's.
I mean, the jokes on Twitter today were strong.
Yeah, it's been great. And look, the Saints played the Jets recently. Last year? Zach Wilson looked terrible. I thought that he has no future in the NFL, but this might have been the best thing that ever happened to Zach Wilson. He's got some clout now. He's got some of that alpha energy coming back. He's got that dog in him. That's right. He's got that dog in him now. His teammates have been tweeting about him. This is what the Jets need. This is what that locker room needs. They're going to start rallying around Zach Wilson now. The Jets, look out! Start pounding the over on the Jets because they are coming now.
Well,
Kevin,
Thomas, I hope you are writing these down. I hope you are saving these because we are going to need to replay this in 6 months when the Jets are 1-10.
That's right, Kevin. In a year, or a year or 3 years.
Tomas, check the timestamp on
Zach
this.
Wilson is his number one accomplishment that we remember him by. Is it going to be on the field, or is it going to be that he banged his mom's friend?
No, it's going to be that. Come on,
Dave.
I mean,
Dave,
Zach Wilson is
go ahead
basically...
and speak in your phone and ask your phone to bring up in 6 months.
Okay, good.
How Zach Wilson is doing.
Do that. I mean, but Zach Wilson is basically like every movie on Pornhub right now. He's like everything.
Yeah.
All right, let me put that in my phone. Hold on. No, I had a couple of different hot takes. I was going to talk about Aaron Rodgers' tattoo and say it wasn't that bad, but I couldn't keep a straight face for that long. I didn't think that was a good idea.
Do you have a picture of it, Thomas, of the tattoo?
Wait, 6 months?
Nope.
6 months from now? What? That's July. Okay, August, September, October,
January.
November.
6 months from now would be January.
We'll go to December. Yeah. First day of Hanukkah, December 19th. How did Zach Wilson do this season? and then for location video, I'm gonna put banging MILFs. And that ought to remind me.
So
that ought to remind me.
What was the other thing you put in your phone?
Like, I don't remember. We're just going to be surprised when it comes up that day, because I remember I put it on a Monday, so the day we record that podcast, it's going to come up that morning.
Well,
my other hot take was going to be All of Humankind. Did you guys see All of Humankind? I think we're all just the stupidest. I think we're the dumbest species ever alive in the face of this universe. Did you guys see the photo from the James Webb Telescope? Did you guys see that photo?
Yeah, I did.
Have you zoomed in on that? Like, there are hundreds of freaking galaxies that are the same size as the Milky Way. They are all out there. And these galaxies, all of these hundreds of thousands of galaxies, are made up of hundreds of millions of stars. It's crazy. This universe is so big. There is no way that we are alone in this universe. And I have to think that we humans on Earth probably are the stupidest people in the entire universe. Like, there are other people out there, and they have to be way smarter than us.
Yeah, but you know what?
They have to
even in those other universes, they all think Roger Goodell sucks too.
Let me pose a question. Let me ask this about all these other highfalutin extraterrestrial species in these other galaxies.
Yeah.
They got that dog in them? I think not.
Not like Zach Wilson, but that was a great
dog in them.
That was a great choice of hot take of the week, Dave, because it's a great segue for us to go to the Kevin Love update.
Oh, that's right.
Kevin.
Speaking of banging MILFs, Kevin. Let's get an update.
We need a Love update, Kevin.
Well, I mean, she's not a MILF. I mean, she's
not yet.
So
not yet.
So
not yet.
Because of the M part or because of the ILF part?
No, because of the M part.
Okay. All right.
ILF parts,
Kevin's going to take care of that.
We crossed the Rubicon on that one.
He's going to take care of the M part.
By the way, make sure you clip this and put this in our entry for the best podcast next year.
Right.
It's the Rubicon. Yeah, there we go.
We're going back to back,
use that sort of vocabulary.
Back to back.
Yeah, no, look, things are going okay. I'm trying to figure out, am I feeling that like, oh my God, I want to spend all my time with this person, And so what I'm wondering is, I'm wondering is, no, I saw that. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Thomas,
we'll get to that when I'm done.
Makes me want to
Thomas, check your DMs on Discord.
I am. And so what I'm wondering is it a case of I've been too messed up by the doctor and other people where it's like I'm sort of just skittish about connecting like that with another person, so I just have like a natural defense built up? Or is it this person really, like this person's personality doesn't totally mesh with mine? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm going to figure that out.
All right. It's you really, I feel like you really jump in, Kevin. Like you're not taking it slow. You're not taking it slow, Kevin.
Listen,
He's going
wear
balls
your
deep.
heart on your
only-
sleeve.
No.
You wear
I've
your heart
only
on your
Balls
sleeve.
deep.
I felt that spark with two different people.
Okay.
One of them was a woman 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then one of them was the doctor last year. And those were two people that I was like, I could absolutely I definitely could see like getting married to this person.
You didn't even
And
give the
third was
woman that
Dave.
wanted her in your house a chance.
I know.
No, got her right out into the backyard and called the police.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. You got to Costanza this thing, because if every instinct you have is wrong, then the opposite must be right. So the crazy woman that breaks into your apartment, she might be your soulmate.
Clearly,
She
you
was
don't
already
have
married,
that,
Dave.
Clearly, you don't have that dog in you.
Yeah, no, she was already married.
Really?
Yeah, you don't. I explained
No,
that
I
she was
don't
already
know.
married, and her husband was grateful that somebody actually called the police and got her picked up.
Yeah. Well, there's no way that relationship is still happening. So,
Brother, I have no idea. That ain't my.
You should look into that.
Not my bullshit. That ain't my responsibility. I got her out of my house. I got her safely taken away. I didn't press charges. End of story. If the people who are listening, I am wiping my hands of this. I'm a regular Pontius Pilate on this one.
Cue the violins.
Cue the violence.
Cue the violin.
Why?
What could have been, man?
All right. Wait. So, do we have a name? Are you ready to reveal the name, or are we keeping?
No.
Agnes.
Does she know about the podcast?
We're
Does she
calling
know
her
about the
Betty
podcast?
too. Betty 2,
Betty 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
So
Does
that
she
was
know
the,
the- Does she know about the podcast?
He knows I do a podcast.
Does she know about the wrestling?
Yes.
You're fucked.
How old is she?
strike one, strike two.
How old is she?
37. No, 36. 36.
Okay, younger than us. Okay.
So good luck, Kevin. We're always. I think this one's gonna be the one that works out.
Sure.
There's dunk shots. There it is.
That's really that was the official logo.
That was the official logo.
The baseball is halfway hidden behind the football. They couldn't have moved the baseball over to like the top left corner where there's nothing going on. Holy Jesus! My God, was that done?
That is worse.
And
That
that's
is worse than our original logo, is it not, Ralph?
Yes, that is.
I mean, our original logo, the baby shit green with
my God.
I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't that bad.
Good
I might have to dig that. I might have to find that. Dig that.
I think,
up.
and he's standing in front of the picture that they took today from the James Hubble's telescope. I think that's like a galaxy behind him.
I think it is.
It is. Before we get to trivia, I want to remind people to subscribe for free with Twitch Prime. Don't forget, if you subscribed last month, you can do it again this month. Give us Jeff Bezos' money for free. Allow us to keep doing amazing things with Saints Happy Hour. Thomas, what's the trivia?
Okay, trivia sponsored by Le Badrich. And the question is, who is the first team the Saints had ever shut out in a game?
God.
No idea.
This should be easy, guys. Come on.
I thought didn't Budrich say in Discord he was going to ask us a non-Saints question?
I was gonna.
That was like yesterday.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess the Bucks when they were like an expansion team and they went like 0-16.
That was my first inclination.
No, the Bucks' first ever win.
I know.
Is against the Saints.
Yeah, but I still.
That doesn't mean that they couldn't have been shut out at some point.
I'm gonna guess the Jaguars. I'm going to get another drink.
Ooh, Jags is not a bad guess.
Yeah, I know. I'm smart.
I'm trying to figure out who that coach is. Like that silhouette.
It doesn't matter because Thomas will.
That's not a coach.
Put random people in there.
Is that Nolan?
I don't.
I almost wonder if that's a fan.
Is that Bum Phillips?
Yeah.
No, that's
this
a fan.
is a pretty recent photo, so you know.
I'm gonna say it's
Tom Coughlin.
No. That's a player.
I'm gonna say the Rams because they played the Rams a ton in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they beat the Rams a good bit.
There goes Ralph looking it up again.
No.
If he gets it right, man. That's
See, I can never win. If I guess and I get it wrong, y'all forget. But if I guess and get it right, y'all think I looked it up. I didn't look it up.
I think this is gonna be the first time that nobody gets it, even the chat.
Wow.
Well, clearly the Bucks isn't the correct answer then.
So my final answer is the Rams. What's your final answer, Andrew?
I guess I'll go with the Jets. The Jets
Kevin.
are always
Ralph
terrible.
looked at the chat. That's always cheating.
No way.
Kevin is
I
Googling
wouldn't
already.
have guessed it. I would not have
It's not
gotten it. I mean,
It's not the Falcons, is it?
no.
Nope.
No, I wouldn't have gotten it. There's no way I'd have gotten it.
I mean, there's no way it's the 49ers. No chance.
Nobody is Juge. Nobody's getting it.
So,
Dave, here, take a quick guess.
1 out of about 25 you have chances.
Dave, take a quick guess before we reveal the
4%.
answer.
4%.
I guess the Jaguars. I already said
Jaguars,
that.
okay.
So
Yeah.
Thomas, who is it?
So
Closer
I
than
guess,
the rest of us.
Yeah, Dave was closer than the rest of you.
Panthers?
Oh,
He at
Ralph.
least
Gotta be
guessed
some
the correct
Just a
conference.
horrible team from the 70s, I bet.
The Bills.
Oh, that's I kn-
1973.
they're the only team to hold O.J. Simpson under 100 yards when he ran for 2,000 yards.
The Saints?
The Saints held him to like 70 yards.
Okay,
Hold on.
see, that's a picture
OJ
of
was
Jared
on that
Allen
team?
holding up. Okay, that's a picture of Jared Allen holding up a jersey. So that picture is not going to help you figure out.
Yeah.
You're never going to guess that that's Jared Allen's silhouette hanging.
That's right.
Okay, so,
I think that's correct.
So Thomas, don't tell me that you don't.
You should have put a picture of a Ford Bronco to help us out.
You could have put a picture of
O.J.
my
Cowan.
dog's butt, and
Yeah, you should have put a silhouette of Caleb
Ralph.
Kaling.
Ralph, O.J.
Judge
Simpson
Judge Ito.
OJ had 1, 2, 3 games below 100 yards. Cincinnati, he got 99 yards. The Saints, he had 79 yards. Miami, he had 55 yards.
Okay.
That's Josh Allen, by the way, not Jared Allen. Guys.
So I was close. So it was vicinity. Like they shut him out. They stuffed O.J. in the year
Are
he
you
ran
sure
for
that's
2,000.
not Marcus Allen? So
And the Raiders, yeah.
So do we have any highlights of that game?
No.
What can you tell me about that game? How the
Bunch
heck
in
did
the
the
chat.
Saints how did the Saints shut
Actually,
out
we-
Saints,
actually,
Bills.
we-
Bills with OJ? How did they pull that off?
We do have highlights, Andrew. We had your uncle mail us the VHS tape of the game, and we're going to play some
Yeah.
highlights now from that.
Nice.
Wait, so November 4th, 1973.
Please adjust the tracking on your VCR.
November 4th, 1973, in Tulane Stadium.
There we go.
The Saints won 13-0.
Damn right.
They scored the 13 points in the first half. So what a
Who was
fun
the
second
quarterback
half that
for the
turned out to
Saints?
be. Bill McClard kicked 2 field goals for the Saints. Archie Manning threw a 9-yard touchdown pass to Bob Newland.
Well, this was Archie Manning days. God, he was early 70s?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Let's see. Archie, Buffalo Bills quarterback Joe Ferguson went 9 of 18 for 87 yards. He was sacked 3 times.
I like how Kevin has become our statistician on this podcast.
Yeah.
Archie Manning.
This is nice. This is good.
Archie Manning, 16 of 33 for $188 and 1 touchdown and 4 sacks.
Joe Ferguson was a good quarterback in the NFL. He's a Louisiana boy. He went to Woodlawn in Shreveport.
Yeah.
See.
Budrich says he actually does have highlights from Andrew's uncle, and he's sending them standby.
Beautiful.
Kicking and punting.
That was a quality trivia question, Butteridge. Good job out of you.
Good punting game, this one. Spike Jones for Buffalo, 8 punts, 377 yards.
The director?
The music video?
Yeah. Fell in love with a girl and everything. Steve O'Neill, 6 punts, 244 yards.
Wow.
A lot of punting. 500
yeah,
yards.
A lot of punting.
So that was a great trivia question. Thomas, fire up the music so we can get to finger guns and get to these.
Budrich just said he sent something.
Yeah. Did we get any voicemails from
No.
this?
Everybody's letting us down.
You guys
Let it-
suck.
They're holding it hostage till you go to Olave Garden.
That's right. Dave, you should tweet out. You should let people join you at Olave Garden, like fans, if they want to join you.
You should do a Twitter Spaces.
My dream, I have a fantasy that I go to Olave Garden and the waiter or waitress is a fan of our podcast, and the first time I say like Olave Garden, she's like, "Wait a minute, are you with the Saints Happy Hour podcast?" And then everything goes very smoothly from there.
It's going to be, oh wait, you're the nougat guy.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
It smells like nougat.
So, Thomas.
Next question.
Actually, it would be great if she was like a smoking hot waitress and it was like, oh, tell Kevin to give my number to Kevin.
yeah.
Tell Kevin to give me a call.
See, look at that. You're already looking to cheat on the girl that you have quote unquote feelings for. That there's a spark for.
No, I said I don't know.
Jesus, Dave.
Okay.
Dave just from the top rope through the people's elbow. Just Jesus. Man.
Calling a spade a spade.
It stabbed in the back here, man.
Dave is mad because of the clip of the week.
We got that dog. Get him.
No, I'm not mad by that clip of the week.
He's mad about the clip of the week.
That one was
We are.
By the way,
we are rooting Kevin to have a successful relationship, and yet we sabotage them all.
Yeah, we're all really torn on this. Like we're rooting for Kevin. We wish him the best, but also we need content for the podcast.
I mean, listen.
Wait a minute, Andrew. What's up with the plaques? You're having 4 made. What's going on?
Yeah, I haven't received
I'm
them
checking
yet.
my mail regularly here.
Yeah, I haven't received mine either.
Yeah.
So, but we're getting 4 of them. They're supposed to be shipping. All right.
Yes.
I mean,
I
Kevin's
got the bag of Coke waiting.
Kevin's heartache probably single-handedly won us the podcast of the year.
Right, but remember, my updates throughout that year were helpful. So look,
Kevin's love life died for
and Kevin and ever since then, I just said you've for some reason you've become the statistician.
It's got to be one of two things. So it's either I keep having starts and stops, or I have a consistent thing that works and runs its course all the way until we hear wedding bells.
You're like an offense, Kevin. You're good between the 20s. You can't, and you can't.
In the red zone,
you get to the red zone and it gets shaky.
You're no good.
Yeah, I get the yips in the red zone.
Yeah, and the slap your mama.
You're like a Saints offense without Taysom Hill.
All right, Thomas.
Wait,
what we got for questions?
Wait, no, I had something else to say. I forgot what it was.
Holy shit.
If you think of it during the question,
it was Kevin insulted me or something, and I was going to defend myself, but I forgot. Or I was going to insult Kevin. I don't remember.
Go ahead, Thomas. What you got?
Thomas, did you get the Budridge sent you some NFL film? I think
one thing at a time, and maybe after questions.
Got music in it.
Okay.
First question from Biloxi Blues. You get 30 to 40 seconds of one song. Kevin's gonna like it. Of one song to walk up to the stage for the live show in September. What are you playing?
Everybody needs to keep their answers to 30 or 40 seconds.
I feel like I got to go with Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, of course.
On principle.
What else would you do?
What song then? What song?
I mean, that's the tough because Andrew celebrates their entire catalog.
That's right. I feel like Dave needs to go with Reading Rainbow or Ian Book.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, I hadn't thought about that. But that probably is, now that you've mentioned that, that's probably what I would go with. I was thinking.
No, I have Dave's opening song.
We got the blue diamond,
There you go. All right. So mine's already been chosen for me. I don't get a choice.
Bracket.
I mean,
if you wonder why you support this podcast, that's why you support this podcast. So we can have Thomas just do that and be the best producer in the world.
First of all, 30 to 40 seconds is too long. I know it seems like 30 to 40 seconds isn't that long, but for a walk-up song, that's way too long. I think the song needs to be about 10 to 15 seconds.
No. You don't even get the drop. Brother, you don't even get the drop in 15 seconds on those songs.
Well,
Voodoo Child, Jimi Hendrix, you could do like 20 seconds. You'd have
pick a better song. Originally, when I saw this question, I was thinking, I listened to a podcast called The Doughboys, and they always have a guy from Long Island who's on that show, and he comes out to Billy Joel's Downeaster Alexa, and I always thought that was kind of cool. But that's lame. But that's like a lame song. Like, that's a lame song to walk out for a Saints podcast. So, I hadn't thought about. Then I was thinking I could maybe like Tulane's fight song. That would be a good walk-up song.
I know Ralph is picking.
But I think for the sake of the podcast, I'll have to walk.
Cowboy
I'll have to walk out to the.
I'd sooner come up to Max just banging on a pan than Cowboy Mouth. It'd probably be Fire on the Bayou, The Meters, or American.
My life is a shady lady.
Ralph's disdain for Cowboy Mouth is like a newfound item.
I know it's not.
I just discovered he hates them, and
I hate Cowboy Mouth.
Ralph, I stand in solidarity with you, brother. If you have ever been to a Cowboy Mouth, look, the music is one thing. The music is one thing.
Rhythm.
You could like their music. You could not like their music. That's one thing. I personally, I'm not that big of a fan of their music. But what is worse is if you go to a Cowboy Mouth concert. What's his face? The drummer. What's his name? Fred LeBlanc. He just talks and talks and talks between every goddamn song. He's got some story. He's trying to pump you up. It is so annoying. Just play the songs. I cannot stand it. That to me is what is the most annoying thing about Cowboy Mouth is if you go to see. Am I wrong, Ralph? Have you seen them?
I've never been to a Cowboy Mouth concert.
He'll stop in the middle of a song. He'll stop in the middle of a song, and then he'll start.
He always goes, "Give me some rhythm." Give me some rhythm.
I cannot stand it. Just play the song. We're all here to hear music. We're all just please play the song.
I kind of like Cowboy Mouth.
No.
Are you? Well, you also like Stone Temple Pilots, so your opinion is invalidated.
I think
you also like Alice in Chains for crying out loud.
Thing is the.
Oh, hang on, man. We will not have any Alice in Chains slander.
My God,
sir.
My God. Allison, Jesus, Helen Keller hates Alice in Chains.
Oh my God!
Of all the takes you've had, that might be the worst, Dave.
No, we've talked about this before. Shut up. Yeah, no, that says it all. I don't. You know what? I'm done.
Has everybody answered this question? Can we go to the next one?
No, I didn't answer.
What did you got, Kevin?
Horrible, Alice.
Are you picking Alice in Chains?
No. I mean, actually, if you were going to do a walk-up song and it was going to be Alice in Chains, would be the one to go with. Shoot. Actually, I was going to say Everlong by Foo Fighters.
Oh, that's a good one.
Good choice.
Yeah. All right.
Next question.
We're getting a lot of Cowboy Mouth hate in the chat, Ralph. You're
deservedly so.
Ralph, your take is getting a lot of support.
Yeah, it balances out my love of the wallflowers. My hatred
what about Better Than Ezra? You guys,
yes,
like
great
Better Than
take.
Ezra?
That's what it's got to be.
Yeah,
it's got to be one headlight, Ralph.
Right. That's right. Or 6th Avenue Heartache.
What about Better Than Ezra? Do you guys, is that more tolerable?
Oh my God.
I'm better on there.
Yes.
All songs I like from them, King of New Orleans.
Yes. No, Better Than Ezra is totally normal. Totally acceptable.
Jason's Champagne says, Jenny says, Kevin got that dog in him.
Jenny says, Kevin got that dog in him.
He got that dog
Thomas,
in him.
edit that up. I need that on a loop. Break every copyright law there is.
How have we not played the Smoke Monday clip yet?
Next question.
I forgot what I was going to tell Kevin before.
Okay, next question from your boy Alan.
Yes, here we go, Big Brother.
With Big Brother starting back up, which host would be most likely to win Big Brother?
Oh.
Who's eliminated first week?
This is the same as the zombie apocalypse.
I'm cool. I'm
gonna win because I'm the only
my bag. Big Brother, and I'm out.
I'm gonna win because I'm the only one that watches Big Brother, so I'm gonna be able to.
No, Balky said in the Discord the housemates would smell Dave's sugar blood and tuck it in.
No, look, Ralph goes out week 1 because it's Ralph. I go out week 2 because I try to be nice to everybody, and nobody likes that, and so they just get rid of me on
that could help.
Week
that
2.
That could help. They might actually leave you around. You're what they would call a floater because you probably wouldn't win any competitions because of your frail physique. But you're going to play a good social game, and you're going to be friends with everybody, and everybody's going to feel bad because you're going to tell stories about like all your failed relationships, and everybody's going to feel bad for you. So they're going to keep you around because they know you're a weak link, and as you get later in the game, they know when push comes to shove, they're going to be able to beat you in a physical competition and then and take you out. So now you're a floater.
You think we're gonna beat Kevin in a wrestling competition?
There's not going to be a wrestling competition. There's not going to be a
wrestling.
We're gonna have to go against Otev.
If it gets physical, I don't like my chances against Kevin.
I would love Zingbot. I would love to have Zingbot on the podcast and zing us.
Is Kevin the heaviest of you four guys?
Heaviest?
I have to say,
maybe. I don't know. I'm pushing 200.
I actually thought this podcast with our topic of just talking about safety and the bracket, I was like, we're going to get out of here in like an hour 10. Next week, it's going to be like 7 hours long. We got to do the UDFA Sun Draft. We got to do the bracket.
Holy shit.
It's going to be 9 hours.
I feel like this is a good time to remind you, Ralph.
You got to devote an hour to Olive Garden.
I think this is a good time to remind you, Ralph, that when I was the host, when you were in Paris,
that's right.
The podcast was on record.
That was also like the slowest week ever in any sort of sports news.
It was. Yeah.
Well,
we had a lot of photos from Ralph's vacation to sift through.
That's right. And the thing is, we're so good at creating content when it's the dead period. Our shows still go 2 hours. But Tom,
wait, 209.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Kevin is the heaviest on our podcast.
Our off-season podcasts are longer than in-season.
It's right.
Yeah.
Who is the lightest on our podcast? How much do you weigh, Ralph?
Right now, I weigh 172. See, behind this peek behind the curtain.
I am the lightest on our podcast.
Dave.
You weigh less than 170. How tall are you?
6'1".
Jesus,
what?
You're a beanpole.
What? Shut up.
I'm
you are
6'9".
not.
I measured myself yesterday. I am 6 foot and like just over a half inch.
And how much weight?
Round up. 170. Between 167 and 170 usually.
Jesus, what the hell? You're like
Dave made fun of my man boobs, and I had to get not eat. I gotta lose the weight for Saints season so I can gain it all back.
I exercise a lot more than you, Dave.
I play golf. I usually try to walk 9 holes in 100-degree heat. You're like the same stats as like the new draft pick the Pels got.
No, he's more like the guy in OKC.
Bobbitt or what? No, what?
Chet.
Chet, the 7 foot 180 dude.
Chet.
You don't want to be a professional. You don't want to be a professional athlete and have my body type.
Yeah. Thomas, is that all the questions, Thomas, or we have one more?
6'1" and 1.
No, 2 more.
Two more. Jesus.
Have a fucking beer, Jude. Jesus.
Next question.
Yeah, I do all the time.
No, you don't.
You know what the problem is I don't have access to po' boys.
You know what the problem is? You know what I did last night at 11:15 after my entire family was asleep because I kept watching commercials, Burger King commercials. I drove all the way to the freaking Burger King on Veterans just to get a Whopper. I just had a craving for a freaking Whopper. So at 11:30 at night, I'm eating a Whopper.
Chance. I'll never do that. Yeah.
I have no self-control. No self-control.
How do you not weigh 400 pounds?
Thank God, I have like a decent metabolism.
So
and I sweat a lot.
Wait till that goes away.
I'm 40. When is it? Is it not? If it hasn't happened by now, I feel like I'm good,
dude. I'm telling you, when it switches.
Just got depressing. This podcast.
It's like Stallone and Over the Top.
Turn the hat around.
Jesus.
Brett from Lafayette says I could have been a leading wide receiver in the NFL in the 70s.
Yeah, just fire up a dart at halftime.
Mammoth.
All right, we got another question.
Oh, we got another question. We got 2 more.
Okay, next question from Bruce AC. He asks, is unvaccinated corner the new PJ Williams? Might play a bit here and there, a bit of corner, a bit of safety. That's a question from Andrew, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not answering that one. Is Paulson going to play a little safety?
He's an outside corner.
Okay.
The answer is no.
See, I saw Paulson. I just figured it would be somebody insulting me. Whenever I see Paulson, I think Eric Paulson, and I think I'm about to get insulted.
His name is Eric Paulson.
Yeah.
His name is Eric
Paulson. Ralph, he was talking about the unvaccinated corner.
Yeah.
Next question.
Okay, last question. Another serious question from Biloxi Blues. He asks, Are we, as a fan base, discounting the effect of Sean Payton leaving? Many national media pundits seem to think it will have a bigger effect on this team than we do.
Yeah, I feel that a little bit. I think that's a good question, and I've wondered about that myself. I think where it gets difficult is last year the Saints were the worst passing offense in the league. And I think Sean Payton realized that the receivers suck so bad that he did a good job of protecting the football. So I think that's what we don't realize is that Sean Payton did a good job complementing his defense by being like, look, our offense is so bad, like we're going to be amazing at not turning the football over. And that actually has tremendous value in winning games. And so, yeah, as bad as the Saints offense was last year, they were elite at protecting the ball. Especially until, it started to become Trevor Siemian and Taysom, and they kind of had a couple turnover binge games. But, yeah, I mean, the offense will definitely be better this year. They have more playmakers. The receivers are going to be better. They're going to make more plays. But do the turnovers kind of counterbalance that? So let's wait and see. I don't know. It's a good question. But I just feel like the offense really can't get any worse, at least in terms of yard productions and scoring. So I don't know.
If it's any worse than last, it's USFL quality.
Oh, that's a Jim Moore.
This is a serious football question. This is a serious football question, so we'll give it a serious football answer. Look, the last time that we've seen the Saints coached by somebody other than Sean Payton was what? Bountygate year 2000? No, Bountygate year 2012.
Right.
12. So that's what you can expect. Expect 2012 all over again. Have fun.
Oh my
Enjoy that.
Aaron Cromer.
Yeah, good luck with that.
The interim.
No, I'm kidding. Those two are definitely not comparable. So, and actually, that's what
they
I'll
went
say.
7-9 with that.
Yes,
group.
exactly. That's where I was going with that, Andrew. That's actually if you want to feel good about this situation, when they were forced to retire Sean Payton for a year, have Joe Vitt, Aaron Cromer, combination of those two who are woefully underprepared to be head coaches.
Carmichael calling all the plays.
Yeah. They still went 7-9. So if that's our barometer, if that's our base, if that's the only sample that we have, then it should be better than 7-9 because at least we've got consistency.
But Drew was in peak Drew.
My only retort to that, Dave,
I don't know who you're talking about.
Is without Sean Payton there was no one at all to even attempt to put a tourniquet on that disaster of a defense. And I wonder.
You're making my point, so that means.
I wonder if the offense goes wrong and it's a struggle, and Jameis turns into full Jameis, and it's a mess. Who's going to fix it? Dennis Allen, offense ain't his thing. So I do think
correct. He's trusting Pete Carmichael to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the defense. I mean, I think you're right. I think you're saying the offense is an issue. If the offense starts veering off course, who's there to steer it back on track? Pete Carmichael, I guess.
Speaking of
but the defense, I'm not worried about.
Speaking of off course, Thomas, do we have a clip of the week?
We do. We did have just one clip, but it's a pretty good one. Clipped by Brett in Lafayette, who's in the chat, by the way, right now.
Hey, Brett.
Watching us live. So let's take a look at the clip of the week.
Well, I think Chris Sims is winning because he's still employed at NBC.
Probably. Yeah. Oh! You heard that, Drew? Shots fired.
The only thing
if you want to come on our podcast and defend yourself, come on. Let's go. We'll have you on.
We promise not to ask about Advocare.
Are you going to take that slander from Ralph, Drew? Huh? I
mean,
right. Did Drew contact
Chris
us?
Sims looks like a senatorial candidate that murdered his wife and she's at the bottom of a lake somewhere.
You guys mean D'Angelo Williams over Chris Sims?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Drew has Drew contact us?
They messed up
about coming on the podcast.
I'll check the Google voicemails, Dave, to make
check
sure
your DMs. He may have slid into your DMs.
Yeah, we picked D'Angelo Williams over Chris Sims. D'Angelo, again, this goes. I'm going to continue making this argument throughout the entirety of this tournament. So bracket, whatever, get used to it. But D'Angelo, Chris Sims, sorry, I'm conflating the two of them. Chris Sims,
You never go full route.
Ralph
Dave.
did nothing on the film on the field to bother the Saints.
Right. That's why Chris Sims looks so good on camera, because he's still young.
Right. He still has all of his original teeth and probably only had like 2 concussions.
Yeah, well.
And probably his set of ribs is probably totally intact.
Yeah, his original ribs.
Yeah. He's got all the ribs he was born with.
We just gave the people a 2-hour Saints podcast that they didn't know they needed.
It's official here in Virginia. Happy Smoke Tuesday, you guys.
Yeah.
Smoke Tuesday every day.
So, thanks to everybody for joining us.
Monday every day.
Has Underhill come out with any podcasts lately?
He was on vacation. We
Not an award-winning one, that's for sure.
Right. There's only
Hey, Ralph, is that a cowboy mouth fat head on your wall there?
Oh yeah, that's a Fred LeBlanc.
If a turd fathead is cowboy mouth, then yes, it is.
Jesus.
I hate cowboy so much.
Thank you, Biloxi Blues.
Preaching to the choir.
So, be on the lookout for the RSVP doc for the live show September 16th, so you can RSVP, and that makes sure that you get your prize when you show up to the live show.
Who's worse, Alice in Chains or Cowboy Mouth?
Cowboy Mouth
by far.
Easy.
Close.
This is a tough one
Alice
for
in
me.
Chains is awesome.
Jesus.
That's a 42-3 game, brother.
So Cowboy Mouth.
Yeah, you guys in
Allison
Discord, you better crush Dave for this Alice. in
Yeah,
Chains
seriously,
today.
Alice in Chains. What?
It's like, is it? Are there
Wait,
two? Are there two lead singers?
You may have a sensitive, refined palate inside your mouth, but you move up about 4 or 5 inches, and boy, that palate up in there is.
Hey, Zach Wilson.
Oingo boingo going on up there.
Zach
Hey,
Wilson.
don't slander Oingo Boingo. They're way better than Cowboy Mouth.
Wait.
So
go listen to Men at Work, Dave.
Wait a minute.
This
is a serious question.
I bet.
Is there one lead singer to Alice in Chains, or are there 2 lead singers that harmonize?
There is one lead singer, although the guitar player, Jerry Cantrell, often harmonizes with the lead singer.
And that's what gives it
Kinda
that terrible,
part of their yes.
sound.
Man.
Clip that!
Kevin wants to fight people tonight. Kevin wants to punch Dave.
Hey, Tomas,
got that dog.
timestamp on this.
He wants to punch Dave right in the face. Nothing has made Kevin so angry.
You better open that closet door slowly.
As Dave's Alice.
Oh yeah, there was
the decade-long.
Closet Chums is done. It's over.
I hate Alice in Chains.
The nearly 15 years of insults that Dave has thrown at Kevin, they bounce right off of him. But his Alice in Chains slander will not stand.
I had some I had some updates to like the bougie off between me and Andrew, and I forgot what it was.
Bring it up next week.
Well, somebody was commenting, somebody on Biloxi, it might have been Biloxi Blues, noticed my tuxedo. He was like, "Oh, Tom James," and I was like, "No, that's just a hanger. I don't actually have a Tom James tuxedo." No, there was. I don't remember what it was. You'll have to remember.
Well,
are you
where did you go?
Yourself as being bougie, or are you trying to out?
I think I was taking a shot. I think I was giving myself up a little bit. No, at me. No, I think I was willing to take a little bit.
Falling on
if you remember it, you can do it. You can mention it during next week's 9-hour podcast. So
only 9 hours, man.
9 it will be. Guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks to Dave, Andrew, Kevin, Thomas running the show, being tremendous back in Poland. Just A+ job out of him. He's the best producer in the freaking world.
That's an opinion.
Remember, kids, if you're going to support a Saints podcast that goes 5 hours an episode, support a Saints podcast that wins awards. And we will see you next week. Until then, the bar. Oh, I screwed up the ending. The bar's closed. We'll see you next week.
Just close the bar. We're done.
Unplugged was a great album.
Guys.
Shut it down.